Good afternoon, dreamers. This is Karen from Follow Your Dreams Reborn Nursery, and today we're gonna change Rosemarie. She's a June 7 month asleep, and we're gonna do Sleepy Sunday for Mandy at Mandy's Cuddlebug Nursery, and um, discuss a little bit about Becca's topic that she did with Becca, Rocking with Becca at Becca's Happy Place. So, the June 7 month of sleep I got from Mel at Melamori Nursery, and she was her second mama, I believe, and so I'm her third mama, and this is Rosemarie, and we're gonna change her into a pretty little dress today because it's springtime and it's time to do that. So, um, she's a heavy baby. She's probably 8 pounds, something like that. I guess I didn't realize how big she was when I bought her. So she's a little harder to handle and stuff like that, and so she doesn't get changed very often. I think this is only like the maybe second time I've changed her on camera. And the last time I changed her on the bed, laying on the bed. So we're gonna try it doing on the changing table. Come on, baby girl. There we go. So I'm gonna lay her down on the pillow and get her little dress off. This little dress I put on her a while back, and it was on a video that I didn't get to do, and it was for on Wednesdays we wear pink, so I'll probably use it again because I didn't show it on camera. But she's when Mel sent me clothes, she sent me everywhere from 3 months up to like 12 months or 9 months. And I've tried 9 month stuff on her, and it's really quite tight on her. So I like the babies in something that's a little bit looser. So I put her in nothing smaller than 9 months. I try to put her in like more like a 12 months. So she has on the 2 onesies because I always keep onesies on the babies, and I didn't have a all white one. So we're gonna take that off of her, get her down to 1 onesie, and she's a really pretty baby. She's got full head of hair. She's got applied lashes. She has pierced ears. She has, her coloring is, she's really, really pale. She's very fair. Her little lips are really pretty pink. She's got gorgeous head of hair. So she's my pretty girl, but like I said, she doesn't get changed as often because she's big and she's a little hard to handle for me. So she just doesn't get changed as often as the little ones do. She's a beautiful baby. She's very lightly, can't even say that she's been modeled because it's so light, and she's super fair. I don't know if you guys can see that from here up close, but her coloring, she's very fair, and she's very stuffed. So she's stuffed so she'll sit, and she's a really good sitting baby. She sits up in the crib, and that's where she stays. I'm gonna put this little Bond baby 6 to 9 months on her. I'm hoping that it's gonna fit. It's pretty stretchy, so I'm thinking it'll work just fine for a little undershirt. But I mean, she's got some chunky arms and chunky legs. Here's a big girl. So she's beautiful though. I just got done watching Becca's video, Rocking with Becca, and and she was talking about how do we stop buying babies when we see the babies on reborns.com or on somebody's channel or whatever. You see a sculpt that you love and you feel like you have to have it. And Suzanne from Suzanne's Babies also, I believe it was, she also did a topic about that, and it's true, because anybody who's in this hobby, and I've only been in this hobby since September of last year, so it's only been, like I always say, 5 minutes that I've been doing this, and I've already got, I think it's 16 babies. I have to count 16 babies. I got one custom coming, but I have 16 babies since September, so I've been busy buying babies, and it's really difficult when you see them, and then there's always new sculpts and stuff, and you want those, or you like I just got Sharon Joy, and she was the, well, I hope this fits her, because there's not, oh, there's a zipper. Whew. She's the Laura sculpt, and I just received her, and I wanted the Laura sculpt, but I got her at a really super good price, so well worth every penny I paid for her. And it's I'll show you this little dress when I get it on her. It's really big and fluffy. I'm putting the little onesie on her underneath because it's sleeveless. It's actually 12 to 18 months, and it's just barely zips around her belly. So I'll get her fluffed out here. But it's hard when you, especially being a new collector, and there's so many beautiful babies out there, beautiful sculpts and stuff out there, and you want them all, and you see them on channels, and they're so beautiful, and it's hard. But it's interesting. Becca and Suzanne talked about when you're not fit. There's that little dress. Isn't that cute? This little fluffy cotton dress. And then it's got a little tulle underneath of it with a little cotton slip. So I love cotton. I absolutely love cotton. And it's got a little bow in the back. Super cute. And it's got pink and lime green and dark green flowers on it. I guess I could have used this. She could have been a little princess for for the coronation, but it's not fancy. It's not a very fancy dress. But anyways, when you're not feeling well, or when you're feeling lonely or something like that, or you got time on your hands, you go on reborns.com and you look at all those babies, and you there is something to say about that box opening and waiting for that baby, nesting for that baby, and get that dopamine rush. And it's hard to say no. I'm going to keep these little pink and gray socks on her, because where she sits, her feet are up against the edge of the cradle, and I don't want to have her paint get worn. I'm going to put these little pink sandals back on her, and they're almost like Birkenstocks. But anyways, so you're sitting there and you're not feeling very well, and you see all these beautiful little babies on reborns.com or eBay or wherever you shop, and then the anticipation of getting the baby and nesting for the baby and stuff like that, that is real. There is a real thing there. It's not a pretend thing. It's a real psychological thing that's going on, and it's hard sometimes to say no. It's very hard to say no, and but sometimes we just have to do that. So my collection, my room, my nursery really doesn't have any room for any more babies once I get my last custom. and it would make it very full. And of course, with the babies comes clothes and shoes and etc., and blankets and things like that. So it's just time to slow down and appreciate the babies that I got. To spend time, an hour with each baby that I have, since having 15 babies, to spend an hour a day with each one would take up 15 hours, and I don't even have 20-30 minutes sometimes to do a video because I don't post every day because I just don't have time. So it gets a little overwhelming, and it gets a little, there's just too much going on, life, too much going on, and the world, and you just have other things that you need to do. I'm going to put on this little eyelet bonnet because it protects her hair, and my nursery is down the basement. I don't want her to get dusty, and this kind of protects her pretty little blonde hair. So yeah, it's a real thing. This, the rush that you get, the anticipation of waiting for that baby, and then when that baby comes and you're opening it up, and it's like, presents at Christmas time or whatever, makes us feel better. But you need to be responsible and think about our families, and economics are really high right now, and everything costs 3 times as much as it did 3 years ago. So it's good to be a little bit more cautious and think about what we're doing. And if we want a new baby, maybe we need to sell the baby that we have in our collection. Being so new, there's not any of my babies that I would sell right this second in 5 seconds in time, but because they are still so new to me, it's a hard decision, and it's a real struggle. I didn't realize that when I very first started, and I kind of am a little obsessive about things. When I do something like scrapbooking or hiking or whatever, I want all of it. I want all the tools that I'm gonna need to do the thing that I want to do. So getting the reborns was quite an investment on my part, because I wanted all the things. I wanted the cribs and the bassinets and the blankets and clothes, and way before I got my first baby, thinking about other babies that were coming, because I had a list of babies, and knowing that I was going to need this, and this, and it was, my nursery right now is exactly the way that I wanted it to be. I did that since September, so, and not very many months, so it has been an expense, but I love it, and I really love my babies, and each one has a special story that's attached to it. And like Rosemary reminds me so much of my girls when they were little, and I mean, almost, I have a picture that looks exactly like this, and so that pulls on your heartstrings a little bit. And I know there's several ladies in the community that they have babies that looks just like their grandbabies, and that's a real thing, because time goes by so quickly, and you get, a year goes by in a wink of an eye, and the babies aren't babies anymore, and then they're 1 year old, and then they're 2, and then they're 3, and they're toddling around, and they're no longer babies anymore, and it seems like as a grandma or a mom, they just start pulling away from you. So my kids are all grown. One's 40, one's 38, and they're both grown, they won't have any babies of their own, so I'm not going to be a grandma. So I, that's how I justify that that I have these babies, so I can do all the grandma stuff that I want to do, or that I would have done if my girls would have had children. But you know, it's a it's a struggle, and I do a lot of praying. I pray about it. If I'm looking at a baby, and like with Astrid that I had on the last video for May the 4th be with you on Thursday, I prayed about her for a couple months. That was when I very first was starting, and I just said, waiting for the money to buy her, and thinking, if she's still there, then I'm supposed to get her. That's usually how it happens. God, if I'm supposed to have her, then let her be there when I have the funds to get her. And there's been a couple babies that weren't there anymore when I went to go back and I had the funds to get them, and they weren't there anymore, and I figured, well, that I wasn't supposed to have that baby. And there's babies that just kind of fell into my lap, like Rosemary. She's probably one of my biggest investments, and she's gorgeous and beautiful, and I love her, but it just happens that in that period of time I could get her. So it's a real thing, and it's a struggle every day. Life is a struggle, and we just have to work through it, and find the joy in our babies that we do have in our nursery. Like I said, if I spent an hour each day with each baby that I have in my nursery, it would be 15 hours, and so kind of think of it that way too. I don't have a baby of the day like Becca does, but my babies are always down in the nursery, and the nursery is kind of my safe spot. That's my spot that I can go, that I can, rest and be quiet, and no TV and no radio or anything like that. I can just come down and rest and relax and rock babies and change them and things like that. So it's a real thing, and it can get very overwhelming if you let it get out of control. But you just have to follow your heart and know that what you're doing is what you really, really want to do. Think about it real hard, and see, search your soul, I guess, and search your mind, and make sure that that's the decision that you want to make. So anyway, that's my answer to Becca's question, is that we just have to pray about it. I pray about it, and if things fall the right way, then I get the baby. If they don't fall the right way, then I don't. And I feel like that's the way it's gonna be. So anyways, you guys have a good Sunday. I hope you have a beautiful Sunday, and it's a little overcast and windy here. Whatever's been passing through you guys' territories is now passing through the Pacific Northwest, and so it's kind of cool and windy, but that's okay, because this coming week is supposed to get up to 92 on next Saturday, so it'll be hot. So we just gotta enjoy this cool weather way we have it. Anyways, I'll be thinking about all you and watching videos and sending you good vibes, and thinking about everybody in the community, and praying for those that aren't feeling well. And always remember, guys, to follow your dreams, because it's important. and to follow your joy. And play with dolls. That's what Linda's Romper Room says at the end of hers, and I love it. Just relax and play with dolls. Love you guys. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.